Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. First of all, I would like to thank Data Platform Virtual Summit 2022 for giving me an opportunity. And I would just like to give a brief about myself. I'm Rajendra. I'm a BS consultant as well as a specialist and working for one of the automotive industry sector. And totally, I have 11.5 years of experience in working with Microsoft technologies like SSIS, SSRS, and Power BI. Last couple, 7.5 years onwards, I'm working on it. And I'm a trainer. I will give some trainings to the institutes as well as some organizations. And as well as I'm an active resident member where I can try to support on different issues that has been raised on the community forum as well. If you want to get in touch with me, below are my social networking links. LinkedIn, I will be active there, so you can get in touch with me. Or else, I started writing the blogs, so slowly, one by one, I have started working on YouTube channel as well. So you can get in touch with me there if you have any kind of support or else any suggestions or else some knowledge sharing is required. I'm ready. I'm ready to participate. Coming to our topic, today we are going to discuss about dynamic slicers in Power BI using DAX logic. So here we need to implement dynamically whenever if you are the end user is trying to select some slicer, the visual should be interactive as per the selection criteria from the slicer. So to get it done, we need to extract some data source. So I will try to use a sample data set for this. And then on the top of it, I will try to create some calculated columns and measures, and even I can try to show you. I'm going to create a calculated table as well, which is these are all objects in the DAX part, data analysis expression. And finally, I'm going to create visuals on the top of it. And going to try to provide you the slices, how it is going to interact with one to another. I will show you in detail. So to get it done, we need to have some advanced DAX functionalities like function name called selected value function. I will try to define some conditions where the user he can try to have some comfortable where he can try to slice and dice data based on the criteria that he is going to select it. So for that, I'm going to use a metric key performance indicator, the total profit information. I will show you practically how I am going to implement that logic in my application. Let's get started. So finally, I'll just try to show you how it looks like. So the final end of the product or else end of the development should be something like from the first selection of the product. The user he can try to slice and dice the data based on any of the product he can try to select. On the second selection product, the same category, he can try to select other than the first categorical selection. He can try to choose any other category and he can compare over the period of time analysis. So if we can observe from 2013 to 2014, I'm trying to project two different lines. One is for one of the product from the first selection and the second is for second product selection criteria. So two different product categories over the period of time I'm trying to visualize the profitable values. So instead of waiting, we'll get started with our demo. Let me open my Power BI desktop application. I'm opening it. So as I said, I'm going to take use of sample data set. I'm just using the try a sample data, load it. So for any kind of a data source system, we will get a navigator window, a dialog. So which source you are trying to connect? Okay, it's a source name called XLS and the file type, it is an XLS file type and the file which is available in that particular XLS is a financial. Okay, let's try to select it. So on the right hand side, we can see the data preview. If you can observe, these are the number of columns. Okay, and the data it is trying to project with total number of rows and all. We can try to observe as a kind of preview. I will just try to load it directly into my Power BI desktop application. I will load it. I'm not performing any data transformations or else any data cleanup activities in the query editor. So I'm directly loading into my application. So if you can observe, I just want to give a brief idea about this application. It's a product from the Microsoft. So where we can try to do the business intelligence activity. So we will try to do some visualizations processes like the connected information we will try to project in the form of visual representation, some kind of an insights we can try to derive by using some connected data sets. So as of now, I have extracted the financial samples and which is a file type of XLS format. I have imported into my Power BI desktop application here. If you can observe in your fields pane, your data set is available. So these are the number of columns that are available. Even if you want to look over the data set, how it looks like and total number of records, we have in our Power BI desktop application, there is a data view. Just try to select the data view. So see here, these are the number of columns we can try to observe in our data view or else data tab. Okay, and the total number of records it is projecting here, 700 records are available in that connected table. And if you can observe, there is one more tab, one more view tab is there. That one we are going to call it as model view or else model tab. So as of now, I have connected with one single table, financial. So if I'm trying to import multiple tables, then I can try to build some relationship. So one table to the another table, I need to build some connectivity in the form of primary key and foreign key, like a unique records to the duplicate records or else null blank information. I need to bring a kind of a relationship like one to many or else many to one kind of a relationship. So as of now, I have extracted only one single table, financial. Okay. So let's get started the business. I'll just try to explain you the business scenario again. So see here, let me take a line chart. I'll just try to drag and drop my date field on my x-axis and the profit. Anyway, I'm just trying to use the implicit measure profit, try to drag and drop. So here I just drag and drop. I'm trying to project over the period of time analysis from September 2013 to November 2014 for this profit information, right? Let's try to add the data labels so that we'll get some clarity as well. Okay, let me enable the marker and along with the data labels too, so that it looks good. Values. Try to change the color black and increase the font. Looks fine. Line width, I will just try to increase the line width so that it looks good. Fine. Fine. See here, as of now, I'm projecting the profit information from 2013 to 2014 analysis. I'm trying to showcase over the period of time. So here, the thing is, I want to slice the data based on different products. Okay, let me choose a slicer chart to choose or else to represent based on the visualization, the slicing part as well. Let me drag and drop the product information. So if you can observe, maybe as per the selection criteria, one product I have chosen, one of the product Armelia, my visual is getting interacted, right? If you can observe this. But the thing is, we need to implement a categorical selection. Dynamically, the user should be select two of the products from the same category. Maybe I'll just try to show you here. Still, I want to showcase the difference between two of the products. So as of now, I have selected the Armeli and Carita. The total value of those two products, I'm trying to visualize on my line chart. Correct. So what I will do in this sense, on the top of this line chart, I will just try to drag and drop my profit as a legend part. If you can observe, we can see two different lines. One is related to Armelia product, and the another product it is trying to project it as a character. So two different products I can try to project it. Very simple. But the thing is, dynamically, maybe if you can try to unselect for this particular product category, we can see all the products in our line chart. So which is looks like a clumsy. So where the business user to take some decisions or else to take some key info or else insight, it is very complex, right? Maybe I have some products, okay, 5 to 6 products are available. To take some decisions based on this, it is a little bit complex. Suppose if you can try to provide two different categorical selection. So maybe if you have different products, but the end user he needs to be get selected two products at a time. From the first product, first selection criteria, maybe he's going to select the Armelia is the one of the product. And from the second product selection, maybe he's going to choose the another category, VTTRL, some other category of the product. So how we are going to visualize that one? So as of now, it's something like a clumsy visualization. So we are trying to project all 6 products here. So instead of that, we want to visualize it with the selection criteria. What I will do in this instance, I'll just try to make it as a duplicate of this existing product. So if you can observe, maybe from the first selection, Armelia I have selected, but here also same product, right? So there is no change or else I cannot able to select another product to visualize on my line chart. To get rid of it, what I will do in this is I will try to create a new table, a distinct table for this product information. So let's try to create a distinct table, new table, which is nothing but a calculated table in Power BI DAX object part, giving the name as first product selection is equal to distinct product. Validate it. So you'll see the distinct of product information, which is the 6 categories. So let's try to create one more product information. So same, I'll just try to duplicate it. Second product selection is equal to, instead of recalling that distinct function, I'll just try to call my first product selection table. Validate it. So you can see the same information here. So why are calling these two separate tables in the sense? So I want to give a user interface to my business user. He is going to select two different products from the first selection criteria and the second product selection. So that's why I'm trying to create two different tables. I mean, representing as the same product information, two different set of tables. So from the first product selection, I will call my first product, the product information, try to drag and drop. And from the second product selection, try to drag and drop second product info. If you can observe this first product criteria and maybe from the second product, I can try to choose another category, but there is no interaction with our line chart because these are the new tables which we haven't provided any connectivity to your data model or else to your relationship. There is no relationship at all for these new tables which you have been created. Without creating the relationship as well, with the help of a measure by using some list kind of an object, we can try to make as an interactive with this different product selections into your line chart. So how we are going to visualize it? So I can try to select different products, but there is no interaction to my visualization. To get this done, I will try to create one more measure which is related to the dynamic selection criteria. Let me create a new measure. Click on the new measure, giving the measure name as, I hope you are able to see, dynamic selection. Here I'm trying to use calculate. Okay, calculate function where I can try to pass two parameters at a time. One is for expression and the another I can try to call multiple filters, but here I can try to call my main table product financial table product column. So I will just try to call my filter function as well. So the expression part here, I'm using the profit information is my key metric, sum of profit, comma, filter function I'm using. So filter, which we are trying to use the filtration based on one of the category, right? One of the product category from your financial table. That's right to call the financial is our main table here, comma. And the filter expression should be something like your product. So try to call your product. So here I'm trying to call these two separate tables which I have been called as first product selection and the second product selection. So I'll just try to call by using an int operator, use and curl braces, try to call the selected value of product, not financial product, first product selection, comma, selected value of whatever I'm going to select from the second category. So I'm just trying to call that new table and I'm calling that particular product column from that table information. So just try to call the second product selection of product column. Close the parenthesis, try to validate it. So I'm trying to generate a measure which is related to the dynamic selection of my two of the slices from the first and the second selection. I'm just trying to call it on the in function with curl braces. So here the selected value of your first product selection of your product column and the selected value of whatever the product category you're going to select from the second product category of your product column. Validate it. So here in our visualizations part, instead of directly calling on the y-axis the product information, just try to call your new measure. Just try to drag and drop here. If you can observe, automatically two of the products has been selected. Maybe if you can try to choose another category from both of the first selection and the second selection, you can see the difference, right? So for your understanding, instead of calling it as a product, let me rename it as a first selection product. For our understanding, I'm just trying to rename it. So this is second selection of product. So it is easy for us to remember. So this is related to the first selection and this is related to the second category of your selection. So I can try to select two different products in my first and the second slicer and the visual should be dynamically get selected those two products and we can try to observe over the period of time analysis from September 2013 to November 2014 with a different color code, hexa codes as well. Okay, so here if you can observe, maybe if I can try to select the fascio, we can see the same line. Okay, we can see the same product information from your first selection and the second selection criteria. So what I will do in the sense, I will try to write one more condition. Maybe if you can try to choose from the first selection category, the category name called fascio, that should not be available in your second category, second selection of your product. Maybe if you can try to select one of the category from the second category, it should not be available on the first selection of your product. I mean, just like a condition, like zero, true or false condition. Maybe if you can try to both are equal, try to represent as zero or else one. Try to create a measure to get this done. I'm just trying to create one more measure, giving the name as filter selection is equal to if condition I'm trying to write, if selected value of first product selection is equal to selected value of second product selection. Both are equal. The result should be something like 0 or else 1. Okay, I'm just writing a condition here. Validate it, validate. Try to call that new function on first selection product, and the same function, the filter selection function, I'll just try to call it on my second selection product. Let's try to slice down it. Okay, filter selection here, drag and drop, is equal to 1. Apply the filter, apply it. From the second selection category, try to call the same function, filter selection is equal to 1. Apply the filtration. So if you can observe, you cannot see the same category. So in the first selection criteria, I have chosen a product, one of the product, that is a Fascio. You cannot see the same product in your second selection criteria. It should be something. Maybe I can try to choose other category other than the Fascio. Maybe I can try to choose VTT. So the same VTT, it should not be available in your first selection of your product. So VTT is not available. Maybe I can try to choose another product from the first selection of product. Maybe I'll try to choose Vilio. So in this way, we can try to get rid of the same selection criteria from the first selection of your product and the second selection of your product information. And the dynamically, if you can observe, in the chart, we are trying to project it with from 2013 to 2014. We are visualizing the data with two different products. So dynamically, the end user, you can try to choose two different products. I can try to compare over the period of time analysis on the line chart. So you can try to choose any one of the product. Okay. So if you can observe, maybe I can try to choose another product as well. See here, two different products. I can try to select it like this to get rid of this functionality as well. Maybe the end user, you can try to choose only one product at a time from this first selection, and from the second selection criteria he has to choose one category only. To get it implemented, instead of using a multi-select option, by using a multi-select, what I will do in this is I will try to change the selection criteria. Try to select the first selection of your product. Go to the format your visualization. Here we have an slicer setting options are there. Open it. Selections. So by default, it should be something like multi-select. Okay. I'll just try to change to the single select, which we are going to get it as a radio button. If you can observe, I can try to choose any one of the product. So I cannot able to select by using control button or else something with another product. Okay, two different products in the same category, same set of first selection criteria. So let's try to implement the same for second selection of your product. Try to select it. Select your slicer chart. Go to the general, or sorry, visual part. Try to enable the single select. Okay. So if you can observe, from the first selection criteria, I can try to select one product. And from the second slicer criteria, I can try to select other than the Fascio, another product, another 5 products in that I can try to choose it. Okay. You can see the difference. I have chosen the first product selection character. It should not be available in the character, the same selection in the second selection of your product. So this way we can try to implement the dynamically selection of your categories by using a line chart. So here I have implemented two things. If you can observe, as per the methodology part, I have implemented dynamic selection based on one of the profit information. So I had chosen a line chart over the period of time I'm trying to project the analysis. I want to segregate the data based on the product information. So first I need to use existing product category in the slicer chart, but I cannot able to select two different products at the same time. I will try to get it as an clumsiness, if you can try to remove all the selection criteria, to get rid of it, I have created two different tables which is related to the product information, which is like a dynamic. So after calling the first product selection and the second product selection, I have created a measure name called dynamic selection. So here I'm trying to write a calculate function where I can try to perform the expression is my profit is my key metric. So I have chosen my expression as a profit and the data filtration. So I'm trying to use a filter function here. So the main table, so financial table of financial products. So even if you are trying to create first product selection and the second product selection, the main reference should be where product category. So I'm trying to choose the financials product is my category. In as an operator, I'm trying to call it in the form of a parenthesis where in the form of a list from the first selected criteria, the selected value of first product selection, and I can try to call within the in function in operator second product selection of your category. So I'm just trying to choose a list, try to call those two selected values. So whatever you are going to select, those information I want to project or else filter in my line visualization. So once I have derived this measure, I just try to drag and drop that into my canvas. So here on my y-axis, instead of a total profit, I just drag and drop my dynamic selection. Okay. After that, from the first product selection criteria wise, I can try to choose different multi-select option. So to get rid of it, I have written a condition. Okay. So the condition should be something, maybe if you can try to choose the same category from the second product selection, to get rid of it, if both are equal, try to call it as a zero or else true or false condition. I'm trying to call it in the one more measure by using a statement, if statement. The selected value of your first product selection is equal to the selected value of your second product selection. So if it is zero or else one condition, I'm just projecting true or false condition. So this particular filter selection criteria, I'm trying to call it on both of my slicers. So which I'm using as an first selection method and the second selection method. I'm just trying to use a filtration here. So if you can observe, a drag and drop and is equal to 1, apply the filter. So we will not see the same category, the character product in our second category selection. And the same condition I have applied in my second selection of your product. So just drag and drop and the filter selection is equal to 1. Don't show me the same category in your first selection. So I'll just try to select the value. It is not available in your first selection of your product, right? That's what I have just implemented. So what I will do in the sense, I'll just try to give a proper name to this analysis part. I can try to show you how it looks like once you published onto the services part as well. Okay, I'm just trying to give a cosmetic changes on the top. Just try to take something like dynamic categories Power BI. I'm just giving some name, referral name. So I'm just trying to increase the font of it. I will publish this report into the services. We will look over how it looks in the services part as well. Okay, whether the user he can try to select two categories dynamically, he can try to view the two metrics or else two product metrics over the period of time or not. We will try to observe here. Okay, I'll just try to give some cosmetic changes on the visualization as well. Let me remove the title and make it as an the categories on the top center so that it looks good. Let me increase the font of it. Okay, fine, good, nice. Save this one, save this report before publishing onto the services part as well. I'm just trying to save it. dynamic selection, something like this. Dynamic, save it. Publish this report into the one of the workspace. I'm just trying to cross verify how it looks like. Publish. In the meantime, let me open services as well. I'm trying to open the services part. We will see. I just published my report in one of the workspace. So let's see here. See this? So if you can observe the report which we have developed, the case study, dynamic selection of categories in Power BI. I'm just trying to cross verify in the services part whether how it looks like. So the first selection of your product and the second selection of product, I will just try to cross verify before sharing this report to the some user. Okay, if you can see, I can try to select from the first selection of your product, Armelia, and the second selection of your product, another category, Montana. Maybe if you can try to see, Carita, I have chosen from the first selection and the second selection is not appear. Maybe I can try to choose another category, Montana, right? And from the first selection, I'm going to choose VTT. As of now, it is available in the second selection as well. Once I have selected VTT, it should be removed. I mean, automatically, both are equal. I have to choose another category. So that's why I have write a condition there. Second selection of product, I can choose any other than the VTT, any other of product categories. So I can try to choose value this time, right? So I can try to select dynamically and I can try to observe the visualization over the period of time from 2013 September month to the 2014 up to December month. And after verifying, after cross verifying whether the data how it looks like and whether the interactions how the dynamically selections has been done, we can start sharing this report to the business user. So I'll just try to use a share option here. Maybe I can try to choose some user. I'll just try to share myself, send it. So the end user is going to get a link to his mailbox. And once he can try to select the link, it will be redirect to the web page. And from there, he can try to choose any of the product from the first and the second, any second product from the second selection of your product category. So you can dynamically select and he can try to choose the categories dynamic as per the categories that he is going to choose. Over the period of time, he is going to showcase or else observe the insight so that the business user he can try to take his analysis or else his take the profitable decisions accordingly. This is what I just want to project to you on the slide as well, how we are going to implement dynamically select the categories using a line chart. So the same categories which I have projected by using a dummy data, which is having sample data in the Power BI application itself. Even I have used the line chart. We can try to choose clustered column chart as well. So that one also will works fine. It is not only for line chart. We can try to implement the same categorical selection dynamically for any other chart which is having a time series where we are going to project or else we are going to visualize the time series analysis anywhere. I mean, as per the customer prospect to take some business decisions. Thank you. This is what I just want to explain as a business case study. Dynamic selection of the categories in line chart using the line chart. So thanks GPS team. Thanks for the opportunity and all the best. Thank you.